So I just saw the first Fantastic, not the first, the first Fantastic Four movie from the MCU, and it was good. The first Fantastic, we finally got a good Fantastic Four movie. Took you 4 tries, technically 5, but hey, we got there eventually. So yeah, but it's got its problems. Not a perfect movie. Now what is it about? Well, about the Fantastic Four. They already after the origins, they already have their powers. They already sell into this world. 4 years after they got their powers, already famous and have a bunch of fans and brought world peace. But then all of a sudden, the Silver Surfer comes down and warns them that their planet's about to be consumed by Galactus, and the Fantastic Four have to solve this problem. Also, Sue Storm is pregnant. So yeah, that's and it's a fine movie. It's a fine plot. I like the characters a lot. There's a lot of the good things about this. The best MCU movie since No Way Home. No, wait, sorry, Guardians 3. Guardians 3. Forget about that one. So yeah, the MCU, like many people, I've kind of gotten sick of the MCU. Like the 2020s, I think there was only like, 4 movies I maybe liked? No Way Home, Guardians 3, Thunderbolts to an extent, and Fantastic Four. But this and Thunderbolts may gives me hope that maybe we're getting back on track. Because unlike, say, franchises like Star Wars or like I just did my video on Jurassic Park where I just feel so burnt out. I'm definitely burnt out. Like I'm tired of these movies, but I feel like they have a real chance of coming back soon. Unlike Star Wars, which I don't think is going to get back on track for a long time. And unlike Jurassic Park movies, which I just want to end, I want those movies to stop being made. I think I had some faith in MCU that it could get a little shot in the arm and get back. And it seems to have getting back on track. Daredevil season 2 is going to be made by the showrunners, like the new crew who made the last 2 episodes of the Born Again, which were the good episodes, the show. So there's hope for season 2. Ironheart got canceled. Thank God. You're gonna get an Ironheart review. Don't worry about that. You're gonna get that one. But but also Thunderbolts and this shows that I'm finally being proves the one issue with this phase, these past 2 phases, or 3 now, that I don't really care about the characters. The characters in these movies are now that interesting. Let's see. Kamala Khan's gets to the kind of likable. Miss Marvel. Hawkeye, but he was already likable from the previous MCU movies. Same goes to Spider-Man. I think that's it. Yeah, that's really it. But then Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four came out, and I'm like excited to see all these characters meet up and work together. I'm actually not nowhere near as excited as it was for like Infinity War Endgame, where I was like just losing my mind at the prospects of what could they do next. This next Avengers movie, I am optimistic. I feel like there is hope for a good movie, but I'm being very cautious, and I'm not 100% sure if it's going to work out, especially the whole Robert Downey Jr. thing. Yeah, we'll get to that. We will get to that. But okay, how are the characters? Good. So good. A million times better than the last 2 movies. First up, the biggest improvement from the movies is Sue Storm. Now, in the first 2 Chris Evans Fantastic Four movies, she was just a really bad character. They just took any chance to use her invisible powers to get her naked, and it was like she felt like the character, a female character, just for eye candy for the guy's boyfriend. She's a really, really pointless character. She does in those 2 movies. She feels so boring and interesting in those ones. But if I say boring and interesting, I think that's more fitting for the 2015 movie. If you don't remember my Lilo & Stitch movie, I said there was 5 movies that gave 1 out of 10s. The Fantastic Four movie that came out 10 years ago, was one of those movies. It's, in my opinion, the worst superhero movie I've seen. At least the mainstream superhero movies. I haven't seen some cheap Tubi quality superhero movies yet, but I don't know, maybe they're out there. But yeah, from the big production, that movie was awful. Like it was seriously one of the most boring, soulless experiences I've ever had watching a movie. Never gonna watch that one again. Yeah, and honestly, this movie compared to that one, it's like Citizen Kane. I'm not even exaggerating. I will take this movie any day. I'll watch it 500 times before I see that one. Okay, gotta calm down. Gotta calm down. No, that movie sucks, but this one's good. Let's talk about why this one's good. There's all okay. Back to the characters. Then there's Reed Richards, played by Pedro Pascal. Despite Pedro Pascal being in like almost everything that's coming out, he's still proving that he's a good actor. Even in movies I don't like, he usually gives a good performance. And here he does a good. He does the same. He's very good. Very good character. Very pragmatic. Very feels intelligent, despite his actions not being so intelligent. Another issue we'll get to. But my favorite characters of all of them was probably Johnny Storm. I say he's my favorite character. Johnny's a hard character to get right because you can either make him too annoying, like in the Chris Evans when was played by Chris Evans, or really boring, like again Van Forstick. Yeah, okay, forget it, drop it, don't think about it, Okay, Joseph Quinn. He's great. He's an actor. He's been really proving himself. I think he's been great in almost everything, except for Gladiator 2. He sucked in that one, but everything else he's been really good in. And then there's the Thing. He's fine. I don't like his looks. His look, I'm not so sure about. It looks a little weird, but also wish they used some practical effects over him because the CGI on him is like not bad, but I think they could have done better. That's the one thing I'll say about the 2004 movie, and to a certain extent, the 2015 movie, that the Thing looks a little better. Yeah, it looks a little goofy in the 2004 movie. In the 2015 one, it's a little obviously CGI, but not as much as this one. But also, his voice, I wish it was a little deeper. It sounds too normal. Like his voice is all right, but I feel like that giant huge body should have a deeper voice behind it. That's my one thing I'll say those movies did better. Actually, there's another thing these movies did better, and that was the Silver Surfer. The Silver Surfer is honestly a character who I've never really cared about, even like the comics. Like he's a fine character, or she in the scenario, and here she's perfectly fine. She has a cool backstory, but they don't do too much with it. There's also some hints between her and Johnny, but that goes nowhere. So yeah, she's probably the pretty forgettable character, probably the weakest of the bunch. But then there's the main villain, Galactus, and he is a 10 times improvement over the 2007 Fantastic Four. And instead, they actually show him this huge hulking giant instead of just some ugly ass cloud like in the 2007 one. But he's really threatening, intimidating. But again, I wish. Again, the CGI, they use a lot of CGI on him, and I wish they could have toned it down a bit. Because, use a little practical. I know they can't make a giant, huge machine guy like that walking through cities, but you can't use some model work or, manipulate the shots. Like, when his foot's coming down, you couldn't use, a prosthetic or something and just make it look bigger. I would like some practical effects, and honestly, it feels like they're just kind of copying out of practical effects. CGI is not bad. Sometimes it looks amazing, especially in the world and design. Which, speaking of the world design, oh my god, that's probably my favorite thing. This whole futuristic yet old, mixes the futuristic with retro so perfectly. I love this world. It looks phenomenal. Really phenomenal looking world. Too bad the other environments don't look that cool. Like, is Galactus' ship? It sucks. It looks so boring. It looks like every bad guy ship I've ever seen. Mortal Engines, Transformers 4. It's a design and look that I am very tired of, and it feels painfully recycled. Yeah, and now I'm gonna start getting to issues. I already got to the CGI, but the CGI is better than most Marvel movies. Not quite to the level of, say, Guardians 3 or Thunderbolts, where it actually looks pretty convincing. Actually, Thunderbolts is a little hit or miss. But yeah, creator James Gunn CGI does a lot better. Also, this movie, while it's good, sorry man, Superman is the better one. I mean, there's some good shots in here, but James Gunn really knows how to do shots way better, and I just personally got engaged with the main character a little bit more. Yeah, he's still a great character, but again, I just prefer Superman a little bit more. And I always like Superman more than the Fantastic Four. Never been a huge Fantastic Four fan, but again, I enjoy stories with them, and this is a good one. Again, each one of them just has unique chemistry. Again, back to the issues of the movie. Another issue of the movie I have is with the character Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. He's played great, but there's one his aspect of the character he's supposed to be like he's supposed to think of every single solution possible, and like he's like always thinking about how he could do this and like how every outcome there could be. He's always thinking about it. But for a guy who's supposed to be very smart to think of every single solution, it sure misses a few. Because I really thought of some things that he didn't think of. Like, for example, there's a scene. There's a scene where he what scene was it? Oh yeah, he's like I'm trying to fight the big Galactus, and he's like he like tells him to get blinded by fire. It's not a big spoiler. You know he's gonna fight Galactus. He tells Johnny to shoot him in the eyes of fire, blinding him so it can be part of his plan. And they shoot him once in the eyes, and then never do it again. Never blind him again. I feel like that could have helped a lot, making temporarily blinding him again, temporary, but just every time his eyes get better again, shoot him in the face again. Again, for such a smart guy who's supposed to think of every outcome, that didn't cross his mind. And oh my god, the worst scene in the movie. This movie's mostly fine, but there's one scene that just flat out sucks. It's kind of, in some ways, awful. It's with it's when they get back from their mission, like the first encounter with Galactus, and they have a press conference, and then they say the stupidest shit you could say at that moment. It's like, well, they're being truthful. Well, I think being truthful isn't always a solution. Sometimes it creates more harm. It's like the Depeche Mode song, Policy of Truth. Sometimes telling the truth does more harm than good. And this is one of the situations where telling the truth does a lot of harm. Granted, the problems and causes gets wrapped up pretty quickly, but still, it's like you could have avoided those problems in the first place if you just never told them the truth. And again, you're supposed to be a smart guy who can think of all these outcomes. Again, most comic book movies I would be a little more forgiving, but in this situation, they're trying to make you like he's a very smart and clever guy who think of everything. So so I'm being a little more harsh on it than I usually am. But those are the only problems I have. Do I have any other problems? I'm trying to think. Okay, nothing. Okay, I do have a few, but like just tiny nitpicks that are barely worth mentioning. So, yeah, nothing else substantial really to complain about. Overall, really good movie. Had a fun time. Hopefully, the MCU will be getting back on track. I'm starting to get interested in Marvel again. It's starting to recapture my attention after I lost it. So, I'm excited for the future. I'm interested to see what happens next, which I haven't been for a long, long time. I'm actually a little bit excited. I still have my doubts for the new Avengers movie, but again, I think there's hope for this one. This could work. Only time will tell. So, yeah. Final rating, 8 out of 10. Now, usually this would be the end of the video, but I like to make a little announcement. See, I've been mostly talking about movies that come out recently, like almost every movie I reviewed has come out this year. Sure, a few of them, some of them can be like a few months behind, but generally I try to review movies that are currently out. But here's the thing. A lot of these movies and shows that I review, I generally don't like. Again, I like some, like this one, but I think I've had more negative reviews than positive reviews. And again, the positive ones I do have aren't like extremely huge like, oh my god, it's the greatest thing ever. Because, well, there's very few movies that are coming out there. I think I've only given one 10 out of 10 this whole year. That was The Severance. I'm generally my whole channel because I only had 1 year of a channel. So I decided I'm going to start a new little kind of like side project, I guess you say. See, you may have heard of the Criterion Collection, maybe not, but if you have, you know that these are supposed to be the top quality movies, and also that they're hella expensive. They're like $20 when they're only at 50% off sales, which happens 4 times a year. So, yeah. If I'm going to buy a movie, it's got to be the top tier movie. And I mean top tier, I mean tens. So, and this June, this sales haul, I got a pretty good haul. 1 second. Here it is. I got 14 movies, and I will be trying to do as many movies as possible until hopefully it'll be finished by October, the next 50% off sale. So yeah, and these movies all here are all 10 out of 10. So again, I won't be stating my things. Just me reviewing these movies means it's a 10. I'm excited to do this, and I hope you keep watching. You five people right now who are currently watching this video. Until next time.